Hey guys, I'm Kronos and this is my Halo 3 tutorial. So I'll go over all of the like setup and everything for getting started here as well. So first off, we're going to talk about live split. So here we're going to show how the splits work. So to set up your auto splitter in live split, you have to make sure your game name is Halo colon the Master Chief Collection, and if you type it incorrectly, you should get this auto splitting for MCC PC by Burnt, and if you click activate, then your auto splitter should be active, and you have all of these own individual splits that you make on your own, and you set it to the 9 levels of the game. So another important thing to take note of when you're running the game off Steam, make sure you run the no easy anti-cheat version. So if you click play here, you'll get a second option that has EAC disabled. Make sure you play on that version of the game. So another thing to note is there's this Halo 3 checkpoint trainer. So if you want to use the checkpoint trainer for training with certain tricks that you won't get natural, because checkpoints are very useful in the game. So you would download this file. So I'll just click it and download it right now, just to show. When you open the file, you should get a cheat engine thing. Should show up soon here. Give me a second. And you should get this thing. So this will allow you to force certain checkpoints, force a checkpoint revert, and you can turn on and off your checkpoints, and you can change the speed of the game if you want to do stuff with that. And you can, of course, change the hotkeys as well if you want. So I'll be using this to help with the tutorial here. And yeah, that's basically how you would get set up. So once again, if you need more information on live split and stuff, feel free to ask in the Halo Runs Discord. There's a bunch of stuff by Burnt here. Made all the checkpoint trainers and stuff and auto splitters for all of the games on PC so far. So make sure to check that out there. And we're going to head over to the game. So a couple quick things to note. So make sure you have comfortable controls. So right here, I'm going to make sure. So put whatever controls and stuff that is comfortable for you. And make sure when you're doing your keybinds, there's some important keybinds you want to get. Make sure your movement stuff is good. You're going to be doing something called slide jumps in this game. So that happens when you crouch and uncrouch and hold jump when you hit a sloped ramp. So make sure you have crouch and jump as pretty crucial tools in the game. Also make sure to have whatever mouse buttons that are comfortable for you. There's going to be some equipment jumps as well, so make sure you have a use equipment button to be good for you. And Grenades are important for grenade jumps. Personally, I don't use zoom too much in this game. It can be useful at certain sections, but yeah, you don't really need to worry too much about secondary weapons. You don't need them too much in this run. I believe there's only one mission where you do need to dual wield, so make sure you have your dual wield button to be somewhat comfortable. So as you can see, my controls are on the no board on the screen. So yeah, make sure everything is set up correctly for that. So I'm going to head into the game. Give me a second though here. I want to show or get my live split in a proper spot so I can actually see. Okay. I also want to get this showing on the side here for me. Turn performance mode on. Okay. So I'm going to just go through all the levels. In the speedrun, we do not play Arrival. Like, it's not counted in the speedrun. We just start on Sierra, and if you're resetting your run, you have to quit out to main menu and then go back into Sierra after that because the auto splitter takes the time from the theater times as well. So I'm going to head into game here, and I'm going to just start explaining just the basics of the run. I'll go over like all the tricks that are used along with a couple useful backup tricks, which I would recommend if you're trying to learn the game. So Sierra is primarily movement based,
First squad, you're my scouts.
and so normally you're going to head off in this direction when you start. You can do slide jumps off slopes, so whenever you can see a sloped piece of ground, like you can see how it's slightly uneven. So if you crouch and uncrouch and jump while moving, you can get a slide jump in a direction that really helps. So you're going to follow this path along the trees.
Bravo team, this is Johnson. We got him.
Normally you do a slide jump there. If there's Marines in the way, you tend to just shoot them because they can get in the way and block your path. But basically just follow this route. So here you generally just want to jump onto these rocks and do a slide jump off this one. If you don't get it, it's whatever. Like all of these slide jumps are just minor time saves. If you want to get good at the slide jumps, I would just recommend practicing on this level. Just keep slide jumping everywhere. And down this slope you want to just do more slide jumps as well that you can. And basically just keep following this route. The slide jumps overall save a significant amount of time in this level in particular. It's also important to note that like there is some invisible walls of geometry that you can't pass, so make sure you know where those are. This one spot tends to have one. So generally I just jump between the tree and the rock. You don't have to do stuff like that though. It's like all of this is pretty minor. You just want to keep following this path. So then you want to do a slide jump here. If you can, off this rock. Kinda missed it. And you want to grab a plasma pistol. You don't have to grab it off of any specific grunt because you just want it for a part later. So here, this is a trick called Moose Jump. So Moose Jump is a pretty tough trick. So I would recommend like a backup instead. But if you want to do Moose Jump, you would have to get to the very top here in a fluid motion and jump at the latest possible time and hold crouch. And then the second part of Moose Jump, you want to jump as late as you can to this ledge there. It's pretty tough to do if you're not going at a smooth motion, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it if you aren't comfortable with the movement of this game yet. It saves like 5 seconds to the alternative. So if you fail Moose Jump or want to do an alternative strat, you would jump onto this pipe with a crouch jump. It can also come from this angle, which is a lot easier. Just jump crouch from this raised part of the pipe to this rock. And just keep going. And then here you can jump on this rock onto this, or you could just jump straight up here if you want. Do another slide jump here. And then you can just keep going. So now here there's two things here. I wonder if my version of the game is correct right now, because I am not getting the checkpoints from the checkpoint trainer that I want. So give me a second here. I'm going to probably restart this because for some reason the checkpoint trainer isn't working, and I would really like to have it to demonstrate the tricks. But Sierra is pretty much just a movement-based level. Yeah, my game is not responding right now. That's whatever. Uh, Here we go. Okay. So once again, if you want to make sure your timer's running and everything, make sure you use this version of the game. I think I can hit resume here. It'll probably revert me a bit as well. Just hope the checkpoint trainer does work. So once again, jump up to this part of the rock. Don't know why the checkpoint trainer is not working right now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so right here, this is a trick called Fallen Special. So if you want, there's a Cortana moment right here. So if you jump down and hit the ground, you have a Cortana thing play, and that takes up quite a bit of time. So you want to jump onto that rock right there, but you want to make sure that when you jump onto it, you land and end up not moving once you land on it. Like if you move or fall in any direction here, it's going to cause the Cortana moment to happen. And then you want to jump to that rock, so you want to hold forwards and jump onto this rock. It's way easier if it's in a fluid motion right there. So jump onto this rock and land without moving. Jump onto that rock and just jump across. And that skips the moment. If you're not comfortable with that, you can always jump to this, and then you can jump to this rock here and just stay against the wall, and then jump onto this rock and past. It is a lot easier than doing this fallen special lineup, which requires a bit of like precision on landing, but it is all dependent on what you prefer. This one is a tiny bit slower since you have to make sure you land on the rock without sliding off there as well, but it's way easier. So once you get across that, you're going to want to pick up some nades. There's 2 nades and a battle rifle. You don't need to pick up the battle rifle because there's one later on. And you want to throw a nade as you do that slide jump right there. So it's not too difficult, it's just all timing for that. And then you're going to jump, crouch jump, just keep going through this section. Slide jump here. But yeah, it's just movement. Like this entire level is just getting the slide jumps correct. Otherwise, like if you don't get them, it's only a couple seconds of time loss. Here you want to kill this jackal right here. If you kill that jackal, you tend to get a checkpoint right before this gap jump, which can be useful. So make sure when you kill this jackal, if you don't get a checkpoint, you can also go for it. I mean, it's not too hard of a jump here. I'm going to just try to jump over this gap with a grenade. So at the tip of your jump, you want to throw your nade against the wall and just keep holding forwards throughout. You can see that I'm crouching and trying to do a slide jump at the end of the jump, and that'll help. Just like that. And basically, that's all you need. If you're going too far forwards when you do the jump, you'll like fall off the platform, which is why you want to make sure you time it correctly. This can be kind of difficult to understand at first, but it's all just timing on when you throw your nade and do the jump and stuff. Don't know why my PC is lagging quite a bit right now. Oh, I know why. Give me a second. Okay, can see now. Hopefully that worked out fine. But yeah, just grenade against the wall, just like that. It's not too hard once you get used to it. It's all just timing. I tend to shoot a marine here so I can get an extra frag nade. And then for this section, you want to just make sure that Johnson, right here, is going to disappear. And when he disappears, then he teleports to the prison, which is what you want. If he doesn't disappear, you're going to soft lock in the game, so that'll cause you to have to restart this mission. And that happens if you're really fast and he gets blocked like somewhere far back. So sometimes you have to just make sure that he does deload. So here, it's just one more slide jump. It's not too big here. And then another slide jump on this cart if you can. Here you want to jump crouch to land on this part of the wall. And then you want to overcharge this brute and kill him, because he has a brute shot and he can hit you off of this next part here. So this part of the pipe you don't want to crouch on, you just want to hold onto it and make sure you don't fall off. And then you want to just try to kill whatever you can on the way here. If you don't kill anything, it's fine. And then you want to jump and crouch, or just jump through this window and then activate that barrier. Here, you want to grab the hammer as soon as possible. So generally, if you shoot like a little bit away, you can lure that brute in to get a back smack. That's generally the best way to do that. Sometimes the brute doesn't like react properly. You just have to play around like getting that hammer, because that's the crucial part of it. So once again, you kill that brute, jump onto this pipe, and then you want to just make your way to top, open that, shoot here so like the hammer brute comes forwards, just dodge around him and then do that. Generally, like, you would get an invincibility right there, which really helps for a certain section at the end of this level. And then here you just want to focus on like killing as many things as you can. It's not super important to kill everything, but some things are necessary to be killed, like the brutes I would recommend killing, along with the jackals. You just want to clear as many things as possible as you make your way across. And if you can, just shoot, throw nades, whatever. Make sure you have like a frag or plasma nade for the ending here. So at this section, there's multiple things you can do. So notice you're going to do a trick called Pelican Board. So generally it takes forever for like this phantom to get destroyed. You can destroy it with a brute shot and stuff, but that's pretty slow. So instead, there's a hammer slide jump you can do off of this part of the like this part of the bridge. Just jump and crouch jump with a slide backwards to get to this other side of the bridge. If you're not comfortable with that, you can also do some grenade jumps with a hammer swing. You don't even need a hammer swing sometimes, and there's some other alternative backups without a hammer, but it's really tough. So this is the easiest way in my opinion. If you have an invincibility, you would use it here for that jump. And then you're going to just nade jump with a hammer into the pelican. Because I'm late to this, it is further away than what you would normally like. But you just have to make it there. So what I like to do is I like to crouch and do a grenade jump with a hammer swing, and then just jump in like that. If you do a second hammer swing, it does extend your hitbox to get inside, so it does help. If you don't have a frag nade, you can also use a plasma nade to do it, but it is kind of difficult. Especially because it's pretty easy to die with a plasma nade, which is why it's kind of important to keep a frag for this section. If you have an invincibility, it does help a lot, so that you don't die to the phantoms, because they can really easily just kill you. So once again, jump here. There's a way to do it with the box, so you throw your nade like against the box and then do a jump. In fact, that's a way safer way. I'm just not comfortable with it, so I just do my own slide jump or frag jump with the hammer swing, like on the floor. And yeah, the timing is kind of precise for that, but it's not too bad. And it's easier if you are early. So when Hocus says, "I see him," that's generally your cue to throw the frag nade if you want to get the earliest board, and that tends to be the safer one too, because this is now way further away. So once again, just that. Jump here. And that. It does help if you like know where the pelican is when you like try to do it, so make sure you're far enough left or right for that. Just make sure you like check where that is in particular, and that'll work. So once again, one more time. Since I know the pelican's like right there, like you can see that this is where it'll be, so I just do it from there. And yeah, you can kind of go through like some parts of it. Yeah. It's basically Sierra. It's not too tough. There's only one major trick, and the rest of the stuff is slide jumps. The only super difficult part is Moose Jump. And yeah, it's like not super beginner friendly, but you can learn it. I wouldn't
Sorry for the tight
recommend it
squeeze.
though for
Tell the
a
commander her
like
ace is in
first
the hole.
run. It is kind of tough to land, and the pipe jump is way easier as a backup strat. So here's Crows. You want to just jump down here,
Come on, sir. I'll show you the way.
and you're basically just walking to a wave fight at the start of the game.
Hangar sergeant. Agreed. Master Chief. Get there.
So people generally do a nade boost here.
Chief?
It's like small
Good. This channel
things.
is secure. My fire teams are spread thin. We can't hold out forever. I need that hangar cleared for evac ASAP.
Here, there's one nade boost that we do. We throw our nade against this fusion coil. And try not to hit yourself with the nade or the fusion coil, like, at least not both of them, because it is going to, like, throw you,
I'll show you the way.
like, pretty far back.
Base was built in
Get those turrets up.
Let me check my checkpoint trainer. I just want to make sure I have it on screen so I can see if it's running at the right spot.
Fields of fire.
Okay.
Find us. Probably just smelled you, man.
Point of entry. Best assessment.
Hangar sergeant.
Agreed. Master Chief. Get there.
Chief? Good. This channel is secure. My fire teams are spread thin. We can't hold out forever. I need that hangar cleared for evac ASAP.
So right here, open the door. Just throw your nade at the fusion coil stuff and try not to get hit by the frag nade so you get the boost forwards. And you're just going to turn to the left inside this room. Try to grab the BR if you can. And you're going to just kill like whatever stuff is in here. And it's just a wave fight. There's not really anything much you can speed up here.
Hangar's clear.
You're just waiting for the phantoms to come in and drop troops, and then you're going to kill the troops. And once all the troops are killed, then you can leave, basically. So you want to grab like nades as you can, because they're really important for this level. So I'm going to use one plasma nade here to kill the grunts and the brute. Headshot the jackals. Kill these grunts. And then I want to grab a plasma pistol here. If you don't have ammo for your BR, you can use like a BR to clear this area. There is another BR here, which is pretty helpful to get. And you're just going to wait for this next wave. Kill these three grunts. Kill this brute. And then you're going to start to want to make your way back and after you kill these last three enemies. So generally what you want to happen is your nade to kill those three enemies. So you want your nade to kill like this jackal and and this brute. If you don't do that, that's fine. You just have to kill them manually. And then that causes this door out back to open. If you do miss one enemy, you can take the risk of having the Marines kill them for you as you make your way out, but that is pretty risky. So it's way better to make sure that they are dead. Here you want to just throw your frag at this truck. Generally you want to hit the wheel and then it'll give you a boost forwards. And you're going to make your way to this drone area. So for this drone room, you're going to want to try to get a 5 kill with this fragnate here. So if you get a 5 kill, then it causes this extra wave of drones to not spawn. So like right here I'm not getting as many drone spawns as you would if you were not to get a 5 kill on the drones. And that generally happens if you're way faster with it. So here, get a 5 kill on the drones. And then you just want to kill the drones as fast as you can. Try to just aim at the pipes and whatever. And then when there's like very little to none left, you just kill whatever's left with the BR. And you want to make sure you have a plasma pistol here. Forgot to say that. You can pick one up from the grunts in the first room or the drones in that room. And you're going to want to overcharge and kill this next hammer brute in this area. So right here, start charging your overcharge. And then just headshot that guy. And then if you can, you do want to have some additional spike grenades, but if you don't have any, it's fine. So right here, there's a trick with the grate here. It's like the grate launch. So generally you want to do this. Like this is what it would look like in full speed, where you just throw the nade and get launch like a launch like that. But let me explain it a bit first here. So you're going to normally get a checkpoint here after the Cortana moment. You can see the checkpoint thing up here. And then you want to throw your nade like just at the ground there so the grate will line it up. if you crouch and just throw it like around where I was at, then it should almost always land here. And for most hammer launches in general, if the thing is big, like you see how big this square is, it'll require a jump when you do it. If you are trying to do a hammer launch off a smaller like box or something, you don't need to jump. But like those are small intricacies. There's a hammer launching video, I believe, in the Halo 3 links, which is probably way more informative. So I would recommend watching that. But right here, you want to jump and hold forwards as you do the launch. And you want to swing right as you start falling, for this one in particular. And that'll send you pretty far. If you jump, you can conserve your momentum with the trick as well.
You have been called upon to serve.
So like that, and if you don't get it, it's fine. You just keep going this way. Make sure you have enough hammer ammo for like the next sections. It's pretty important. So if you do get too strong of a launch, you can end up spinning in circles or splattering yourself, so be careful. So once you get down here, you want to press this door button so it activates like the next section of the game. And we're going to do another launch here to go all the way to the other side. For this one, you want to do it like this. That's like a good demonstration. If you turn more to the right, you tend to get like stronger launches. And if you like jump later or earlier, it does change it as well. So you just want to make sure you get it so that it is enough to get to the other side. If you get it to be way too strong or way too high up, that is bad because there's a death plane in like if you go too high. And if you don't get it too strong, like or strong enough, you're going to fall in the water. You can also splatter against the elevator if you don't do it correctly either. So you just want to walk up to it and jump and swing basically at the same time. Just like that. And then you want to hit this button and jump in like that so you don't have to wait for this door to open. So it is important to note, if I forgot to mention, that jump crouching is like gives you more height in this game. And now this is going to be the jetpack brute room, which is like kind of difficult, but you're going to just want to clear the brutes as fast as you can in this room. So you can jump through this thing with a crouch jump. It is kind of tough. If you don't want to do it, you can wait for the elevator door to open.
Ma'am, I've got movement above and below.
Just like that.
They've got jump packs.
And you're going to want to grenade these brutes. So if you have a like spike grenade, you'll be able to do it pretty easily as well, like spike or plasma nades. And you want to just throw two of them. One goes on this brute that walks over there, and then the other one goes on this brute that lands there. If you miss one, it's fine. You just have to BR him down with your battle rifle. So just one, two. If you miss, you just jump here, and you're going to want to kill one of them. And then you use your frag nade here, and just kill these guys, the four that spawn here once two of the brutes die. Then here you want to throw your trip mine and kill as many brutes that come out here. There's 4 of them that come from there. And then you just want to kill any stragglers that are just left around. This brute right here has like dumb AI, so you can kind of just stick him. And yeah. Also make sure to just look around for wherever these brutes are. They can hide at very dumb spots. So that is an important thing to note. Otherwise, those are the only brutes that you have to kill. So now here, it's just basically moving to the next area.
You will be the protectors of Earth and all her colonies.
So once you open this door, you'll get a checkpoint and you want to do a hammer launch off this box. You can get it to be too strong and you can die to a splatter. So just make sure to practice a hammer launch in general so you don't splatter. It doesn't have to be that good, like it's just a small time save for hammer launches in general. And you want to do a jump for that one because it is a bigger box. When you get to Floodgate, you'll be able to see the smaller box launches with those. Here you do another launch with this box. It's basically the same thing.
That did it, Chief. Bomb's armed.
You
Got your
arm the
exit.
bomb,
Service elevator in the
and
hangar.
then you grab nades here.
Downstairs, cut through the caves.
You try to want to get nades in this section so you can use them on Tsavo for the next level. Because you want to have a frag and a plasma, which makes the kills of the shade turret in the end way easier. So now here, this is a trick for butterflying. So you want to make sure that you shoot here once, so it causes these drones to start flying, and then you want to hit melee and reload. So if you hit melee and reload, it causes your animation of your melee to get cancelled, and you'll start butterflying, so to say, on these drones in the right direction. So if you do it fast, you can see you kind of stick to the target. And it is slightly faster than walking, so it's pretty nice of a trick here. Looks really cool too. And once again, that's all done because your ammo, like, needs to reload, and you just keep mashing. I find what helps is looking up to the drone to make sure it keeps targeted. And then here you want to just go through this room. Cortana moments, it is faster to move diagonally through them, so I would recommend doing that. And then here's the last box launch here. Just walk forwards and jump into that, and you get launched in this direction. And at the end here, it's pretty important to switch out your hammer for a plasma pistol, so your nades get carried over to the next level. So basically you'll have a frag and a plasma at least. If you don't have any nades at all, I would recommend not switching out the hammer for anything else, because then you'll have 2 nades for the next level. Basically, you just want to make sure that you have the grenades that you need for that section. So now Tsavo is a pretty self-explanatory level. There's not too much that goes on here, because it's pretty much just driving. So here, we're just going to make our way forwards,
Chief, please respond. What
You
is
can
your
walk.
status?
Set your
Over.
boots on the
and you
line.
want to
If
hit
you can
this
hear me,
button,
find transport.
which starts the door
Got the
to
right
open,
idea. Let's mount
and
up.
then you can
Get the
get
hell out of
into
these
whatever
caves.
hog on easy, doesn't matter, as long as you can get out of this door pretty quickly. And then you just want to take the same driving path that I do. For driving in Halo 3, you don't want airtime because that will slow you down. So you want to stick to the ground as much as possible.
Go get him, Chief!
And then here there's a small like ramp thing here. You want to hit that because it'll make it so that you don't slow down at this section. Then we're going to keep going through this area.
Chief, still can't get the commander. Comms are a mess. Pelicans are scattered. Best thing now, get some
But
distance
yeah,
between
it's
us and the
basically
base.
just
Or else
keep
you're gonna be looking
driving
for
here.
survivors.
So right here, this is kind of weird of a section. You want to drive just enough speed to get over, and you don't want to fully accelerate there, otherwise you'll kind of flip very easily.
I repeat, my convoy's been hit. I've got wounded.
And then here,
We're on the Tsavo
we're
Highway
going to grab
above.
a gravity
East
lift.
of Void.
So getting
Anyone,
this gravity lift, you can grab it through this wall here, and then you can drive on. There is a trick called liftless, which means you don't grab that gravity lift, but it is pretty difficult. So we're going to drive here, and then I'm going to explain the main trick that we do, which is,
Say again, Recon? You're
or
breaking
I'm going
up.
to explain both tricks. So the first one I'll do is liftless, so you want to drive like straight on and like kind of turn your mouse to the right so you can get across the bridge. It is pretty precise and difficult to do, as you can see here. And on mouse and keyboard, like you just have to turn to the right. It is kind of hard, and you want basically you just want your hog to make it across to the other side.
Something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm. Something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
And yeah, as you can see, it is pretty difficult, which is why we do the lift strats, which only lose like 10 seconds. And this trick is also easier if you have a better angle of approach here. Kind of just want your left wheel to get into the part of the road correctly.
Something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
Okay, that was interesting.
Something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
But yeah, as you can see, this is pretty difficult.
Something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
There we go. But that's
Master Chief,
liftless.
find
Some
protection.
people do it
The
in
truth is
full
excavated.
game. Like, you can get it consistent if you do it enough, but it's pretty difficult. The alternative strat is to just deploy a gravity lift that we get, and then just drive the Warthog over. It's not too much like time loss. So just deploy it, and then just drive over. Helps if you can get more speed. I kind of deployed that at a bad spot too. Basically, just put it pretty close to it, and then just drive forwards with enough speed.
Master Chief,
Once you
find
get
good
across,
connection. Truth is
you're
excavated
going to
the
just
Forerunner
keep
artifact.
wanting to take the same path here. It's trucks. And to kind of dodge these enemies here. can be kind of annoying with how they act. Now here, you want to drive in between this rock and the tree here to get up this hill as fast as possible, just like that. If you don't get it, it is kind of like hard sometimes because you can get stuck in weird spots on the rock, but it's just a small drive up there. These wraiths can be very annoying as well when you do that climb on the rock, so you can get shot off, just be careful. So right here, there's brute shot brutes, so be careful when you drive here so you don't get like flung off. I find what what helps is to like slow down so you don't flip over the edge accidentally. And then here you want to just get out. Here you want to throw a frag so it destroys this barrier. It's just like about an average height there. So once again, throw a frag about there, and then you want to throw a sticky nade at that. If you miss the frag and you have another nade, you can throw it as well. And if you miss the sticky on the grunt in the turret, you can just jump up to the grunt and kill it manually. And once you do that, the level's done. But yeah, you just want to destroy the shield wall and the shade turret, and that'll end the level. So for Storm, this level is fairly like complex
Chief,
in a way.
Prophet of Truth has found the Ark. Our only chance of stopping him is a surprise aerial assault. Clear this sector of Covenant anti-air defenses. Make a hole for the Admiral's ships. Good hunting. He's out.
So right here, once you get out of the hog, you're going to want to press this door button. You just want to take the same path. Just jump on this box. Just kill whatever's in the way. Generally, there's a box here. It got kind of flipped over. You want to jump on top of that and across. To get in this ghost, park it against the door here, and then you want to press this button. And this button's like on a timer, so you can just wait for it to be hittable. So here you want to kill like 3 enemies potentially with splatters. If you don't, that just means that you'll have to kill another ghost. So you throw a nade there. If this guy doesn't die, you want to just melee to kill him to grab this turret. And then you want to just rocket the ghosts and 3 rockets to kill the AA Wraith. And then once you get loading done here, this door will open. So right here, you can see the doors opening because I just got loading done. And then here, you want to jump to press the store button through the wall. For pressing buttons, you have to make sure that you look at the location of where they are, and that'll hit it. Here you want to switch out your plasma pistol for rockets. Then here is second lake bed. So this clear is kind of hard to explain. You just want to kill all the enemies that you can and just hope that your marines can also help with clearing them. So first thing you do here is boost off and you want to kill this AA Wraith, generally with 3 melees.
Got anti-air raids in the next lake bed, Chief. One down, one to go.
And then you want to drive your ghost up. I'd like to drive it to this corner here. It's not like really precise. And you're just going to aim at this phantom that flies in. So right here, I'm going to aim at around the center of the phantom, maybe slightly to the right of it. And then I'm going to shoot like 2 clips of rockets. And you want those clips to hit the left pod, or pod on the left for our side, and that'll blow up the phantom. If the phantom doesn't blow up, you just lose some time. It's not super important. Then you want to grab a mongoose, and you want to try to have your marines kill whatever you can. And you want to drive your mongoose to this spot right here, like anywhere inside this section. Then you want to walk over to this missile turret, and you're going to pre-fire 2 rockets here. I don't have a real lineup for this, but I just aim at like where this rock is and just pretty far down. So I aim around here, and if you aim it correctly, you can hit and kill the grunts that get dropped off in the ghost. And then you grab this missile turret and just sit in it and just start firing with it. And you want to try to kill this phantom that drops in more ghosts. And then if you detach the turret, you can just keep firing with that. If the phantom still doesn't blow up, go to the second turret and try to do the same thing. If it still doesn't blow up, it's whatever. You just want to make sure that all the enemies are dead. So if you don't get Johnson's dialogue, that means there's something still alive. So you just have to try to look around to see where there could be an enemy. Sometimes it does like become really annoying to find one. So you just have to kind of hope. So once Johnson's dialogue happens, you want to get back into the mongoose. And you want to drive to this yellow line here, and that'll cause this door to open. So this is going to be for a trick called Mongoose Clip. I don't know what the alternative strat is. I think the alternative is to do some Scarab board with a grav lift, but I don't know it. Someone else would probably be able to explain it better. But this Mongoose Clip will skip the Scarab fight. So once you drive your mongoose to this yellow line, you want to get out right before entering this door, and you want to melee to push this mongoose inside, because there's an invisible wall there to prevent your mongoose from getting inside. So if you do it that way, you can just drive it pretty freely here. Then right here, you want to drive into the corner and start backing up against this door. And then you want to try to stick as close to the door as possible while you go backwards here. So right there, I kind of messed up. But you want to get your back wheel, or your front wheel, to be like around the very left of the door here. So you want your wheel to be at like this part of the door, basically. So if you can do that, I'll try to do it here. You should be able to clip through. It is kind of complicated at first, and it can take a couple attempts. So be patient with this. There we go. So once you get through the door, then you can just continue on, but I want to explain it more. So There's a Marine that will say, "What's that sound?" I believe it happened way before. So if the Marine says, "What's that sound?" that means you're able to keep moving forwards. If the Marine doesn't say it yet, you have to wait for it, otherwise you'll soft lock in the next section. And you can get inside really early, so you do have multiple tries for this if you don't like mess up. So here there's a Cortana moment. You can kind of like nade yourself to try to get an extra boost. It's
I
not
am
super
your spirit.
Well
necessary.
done, Chief.
I am your
I'm
soul.
sending in a few pelicans.
And you're just going to keep walking through.
One more target, Chief. It's a Covenant AA gun in the next area. Take it down and Lord Hood can start
Here
his
you
attack
just
run.
want to keep going forwards. This section. There is a trick you can do if you get a DC here, or a deployable cover, or like a DC launch. It's not really beginner friendly, and it only saves 3 seconds, so I wouldn't recommend doing one here. Especially because you can lose your run to dying with the DC launch. So here you want to grab 2 plasma pistols. The grunts here can deload, so be careful because you won't always get one. Also be careful of this hammer brute because he can one-hit kill you with a back smack. So just be careful and you know where that guy is. So now here you're going to want to kill this AA turret.
Chief, Hood ships
So
are
you
closing
just want to
fast.
stand around
Destroy
here.
that gun. We're out of
Like
time.
there's a pretty wide range of spots which will work. I like to stand pretty far here and just aim like at this general spot of where it will appear. So you want to charge your plasma pistols and you want to fire it while it is like up, while the thing is not showing. So it'll hit when it comes down just like that.
One more target, Chief.
So I'm going to show it
Covenant AA
again.
gun in the next area. Take it down and Lord Hood can start his attack run.
And yeah, you don't really get a checkpoint for this section. So once you get past the door clip, there's not really too much. I like to shoot those canisters there, or coils, because they can get the hunters can blow it up, and it's kind of scary if you're near them. But I'm turning around when I'm facing this hammer brute because if he hits you with a back smack, it's a one kill, well, like one shot kill. So just be wary of that. So once again, while that thing is up, I would fire it. So if I fire it now, it's not going to hit it. I have to wait until I expect it to come back down like that. And yeah, it's not too much to say about that otherwise. So Floodgate is probably one of the toughest to understand for a beginner. There's some DC launches and hammer launches. You just have to be careful and understand what you can and can't do. And the alternative paths to the fast stuff aren't too much slower in the end. So here you just want to do a slide
The
jump
flood.
here.
It's spreading all over the city.
How do we contain it?
Find the crashed flood
And we're
ship.
going to try to
Overload its
do the
engine.
first hammer
Either
launch of this
destroy
level.
the city or risk losing
Multiple
the entire
contacts.
planet.
Unknown hostiles.
So
Chief,
you grab
make your way to the crash
these,
site.
the spike grenade there, you throw a frag right above the box there, and that will tend to
Find the crashed
launch the
flood ship.
box in
Overload its
a
engine core.
like
We either
in the
destroy
forwards
this
direction.
or risk losing
Multiple
the entire
contacts.
planet.
Unknown hostiles.
So you want
Chief,
to
make your way to the crash site.
Surrounded,
throw the
Sergeant.
frag, grab the hammer in exchange for your assault rifle, and you want to just shoot your box so that it is angled so that when you get launched, it'll go that direction and not hit like either the truck or the box. And then you want to swing above the box while holding forwards, and that'll send you in that direction. Because that box is a smaller box, you don't need to uh, like you don't need to jump for it. And yeah, you can get better launches, but that's just the gist of how that trick works. Then here you want to throw a spike grenade here. This will make it so your box is slightly angled, so you can do a jump hammer launch, so across this wall here. And then here I normally do a frag grenade to get a cone launch with the hammer swing. It isn't really necessary
Find the
for
crashed
that.
floodship.
In fact, you could
Overload the
just
engine
walk
core.
for
We
that
either
section.
destroy this city or risk losing
Multiple
the
contacts.
So
entire
I'll
planet.
show it again here.
There.
Chief,
Over
make
there.
your way to the crash site.
Surrounded, Sergeant.
So grenade, you want to just shoot your box, and then shoot it at a good angle. Hammer swing. I hit this truck, so yeah, it get blocked. Like I get blocked from that. It's just small things. So here, throw the spike grenade, do the hammer launch. And if you can't do a nade jump because you have no shields, you can also just jump onto these boxes with a hammer swing as well. It's pretty fine. So here, you can do a hammer launch here to get a small boost. You don't have to do a hammer launch as well, you can just walk. And then you want to grab that DC, that's important. And then here you want to jump and do a hammer swing to get on top. I got like shoved around back there, so that was kind of awkward. Yeah, jump, hammer swing. You can also use that box and just jump up, or you can use a grenade. And here you want to break this piece of glass. You can break it by walking into it or shooting it. And then you want to jump onto this box. There's a Cortana moment if you land on anywhere on the ground here. So you want to throw your frag grenade against this box. I like to throw it around the center here and jump across so I land on the box. And then you're going to want to crouch under right there so you skip the Cortana moment. Sometimes this box will fall over, you just have to make sure that you know like if you can do it or not. If you get the Cortana moment, if you get a good checkpoint, you can revert and try again, otherwise you could just keep going. Here you want to do a crouch jump. I waited too long here. But you want to do a jump crouch to get on top and just walk over. And then here you can do a box launch there, it saves a small amount of time, or you can just walk. And now here's the first like a major trick of the game. So this is the Shadow of Intent DC launch. There's multiple spots here that you can do the DC launch from. So I'm going to go over like two of them. The main one that people use is this one. So if you jump, you can generally delay the cutscene when you're, or you can delay the checkpoint while you're jumping, so you can line it up properly. And you want to jump, and right at after the apex of your jump, like a tiny bit after, you want to deploy your DC and start holding forwards a little bit. So jump, deploy your DC and start holding forwards, and then start tapping W once you get inside the DC after a small pause. It is kind of difficult to get used to. Gelk has a very good tutorial on how to do this launch, but you want to get sent in the forwards direction to go all the way across to the other side.
Clear this sector while we deal with the flood.
Sometimes you can splatter and sometimes like weird stuff
Clear
can
this sector
happen.
while we
It's
deal
all
with the
just
flood.
getting used to the mechanics of this trick. And this will take a
Clear this
couple
sector
tries
while we
generally
deal.
if you're not good with it,
Clear this sector while we
not landing forwards enough in the
clear this sector
DC.
while we deal
There
with
we
the
go.
flood.
So if you get it, right there I died to splatter.
Clear this sector while we
But
deal
if you
with the
get it,
flood.
you should land all the way across. You can take some mediocre ones and just keep walking as well. If you
Clear
don't
this
want to
sector
mess with the
while we
DC
deal with
launch,
the
it
flood.
only saves like 15-20 seconds compared to a perfect one if you just continue moving onwards by just walking. It's not too big of a time loss. The other DC launch, which I'm more comfortable with, is doing it from this ramp. So I just do it like this. Didn't get it correctly here. Let's do it like this. Okay. That was sideways. That was the right DC launch, but it was kind of very far to the left. And there we go. So, like, you want that. I hit the light pole. You can die very easily to splatter, which is why this trick is kind of scary. Just small things like that. And you can get way better at just doing this trick with more practice. It's just the small things. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm messing this up kind of a lot here. Like, I'm not the best at this trick. I wouldn't learn from me. I would learn from someone else who's way more proficient in this trick. Okay, I just want to get one good DC launch to show it, and I'm just not getting it. Like, this is acceptable to most people. It's not like the best. Like, the best DC launches, I would recommend watching someone else's video for like that. Would and have you end up like somewhere in this area. So here you're going to have these boxes here. So what I like to do is I like to throw a grenade, like a spike grenade, shoot like one box, the lower box, so it's at the right angle here, and then I like to do a hammer launch off of that to get all the way. The other strat that people do is a hammer swing on top, and then a melee, and then another hammer swing. That also works as well. So it is like doable for both strats. You just have to find whichever one is comfortable for you. So right there, that like kind of small piece of geometry blocked me. But yeah, and that should send you like all the way down this hallway. So here you want to, I like to jump on that box and do a hammer jump over. It's not necessary, you can do it off the ground. If the flood get really in your way, you can also go around this small alternate route. So here there's a small box launch here you can do. It's not super necessary. And then here, this is a trip mine jump you can do. So shoot this box so that it's at the right angle to send you in that direction. And then you're going to want to do a hammer swing off this box. Look down and deploy the trip mine, and then do another hammer swing to make it across. If you don't get it, then it's generally a pretty far revert, so I would recommend practicing this strat. So this is kind of scary. It's best to look higher for it. And yeah, it should send you all the way here, basically. Alternate strats you can do. The world record does it with a DC launch here that goes sideways there. If you don't want to do that, you can also do this backup, where you throw a grenade. I like to throw a grenade here and do a hammer swing and then another DC launch. I hit the spider on the way. That was annoying. I just want to show this backup that I do. It doesn't lose too much time, also sword flood are scary. So I like to just throw the frag and jump. Come on. It's always in these training things that you mess up strats. So right here, I like to throw the frag, jump with a hammer, do a DC and hammer again, and that'll land you here as well. There are other ways to do this too. You can just generally jump to the other side if you want as well, like by walking, but that is kind of slow. This pizza launch is the best thing you can do. It just is kind of scary if you mess it up. So yeah, this trick is way easier than it seems. I'm just messing stuff up a lot right now. But yeah, you can see I just landed here. And then you want to just make your way to this tunnel here. Just drop down. And then there's a grave mine moment here. So if you want to kind of speed up past this section, you can jump and crouch and like just hammer yourself through. Try to keep some hammer on the way. If you're good, you can like get yourself all the way down this hole during that moment. So then here you want to just jump onto these rocks or whatever they are. Jump here on top, and you're going to want to do a grenade jump with a hammer swing, and you want to get to that thing during the grave mine moment. And when you hold E and look at it, you'll end the level because that's like the level end trigger basically. So you want to just time it with your hammer swing and a slide jump and just hammer your way up here. And if you get close enough, you can hit E and end the level just like that. But yeah, it's just something you have to get used to. If you don't make it, then you just have to wait until the moment is over until you can hit E here. one more time. Kinda threw that nade early.
Curse, join your voice with mine, and sing
In
victory
there.
everlasting.
But yeah, Floodgate is just a level you have to practice a lot to get used to the DC launches. So the Arc is probably the most complicated level, I would say, but it isn't like way too bad. So for this level and the next level, if you hold E, you can get out of the Pelican faster during this cutscene.
Priority 1. Secure a landing zone for the commander's frigate. Keep your eyes and ears open. We need all the intel we can get.
And we're going to do a couple
Stand to,
things here.
Marines. Go, go, go!
So I'm going to take the speedrun path here. You can just walk around the casual way, but that is kind of slow. You want to jump on this rock here and jump crouch onto the top. And then you want to jump to this rock, and then you walk here and do a slide jump off that. Don't worry about it, it's like small optimizations to movement. Here you want to kill this brute shot brute, so you can get his brute shot. And basically just make your way here. So there's two things you can do at this section. The fast way is throwing a frag and holding back with the jump, and you can get onto this rock as fast as possible. Once again, it's a jump with a grenade, and then another jump with the brute shot. Can be kind of difficult, but it's just like that. The alternative strat, if you're not comfortable with that one, is to line up onto this rock, and there's like this small white spot here. You do a frag grenade and then hold forwards and jump, and that'll get you on top as well. And then you just want to keep making your way through. So now here we're going to kill all the Marines at this section. There's 4 of them, so we snipe 1, 2, and we melee 1. Generally, if you have 3 brute shots, you can kill that guy in 3 brute shots. Otherwise, you can just kill him with another melee. So here you want to switch out the empty brute shot for rockets, and then get in the mongoose. And there's 2 things you can do here. So the first thing you can do is drive this mongoose. So you want to get into the ghost as soon as possible. So the fast strat here is to take this mongoose, like driving straight forwards all the way to this ghost and hijack it. It requires pretty precise driving in this part, which is why it is kind of scary. So right there, if you have good driving like this and not get rocketed by the chopper, which is pretty unlucky. Yeah, this is a pretty bad way to show this, because that chopper is really annoying. Also, my driving here isn't the best. Oh yeah, you can die to the chopper as well. But yeah, if you have good driving like this, you can get into this ghost pretty quickly, and then just keep driving forwards. Another alternate strat you can do is drive into this cave, and like, if you have good driving, please don't mind my driving. If you have good driving there, the chopper will mostly ignore you, and you can just pretty easily grab this ghost as well. It is slightly slower. The last strat, if you're really late and have bad driving, so like you can't get into that ghost in time, like let's say it starts taking off here, you can drive under this debris here. That was dumb. I got rocketed at the very last second. Yeah, if you don't get to this ghost in time, and drive in under this debris here and grab this guy's ghost and just keep going forwards. You just have to get a ghost as soon as possible. If you fail both of them, you can either just try to snipe one out and try to get in it, or do like, but yeah, you need to get a ghost. So here you want to drive up this cliffside, and you want to stay to the right of the mountain right there. So you skip jackal spawns that appear right here. If you skip them, that is good. I'm not sure why we skipped them. I'm pretty sure it's for God deload, which is a thing that happens by killing the Marines, so you don't have to kill a bunch of enemies later on. And now here is the Dawn Clear section. So this section you have to kill all but one brute and one grunt, I believe. So first you're going to get out, you zoom in here and like target around where this brute is, the rock, and then you fire off a rocket. And if you aim it correctly, that should get a double kill. And then here you want to hijack this Wraith and do 3 melees. I like to shoot a rocket at that floating thingy, I don't know. And then you want to snipe and kill 2 brutes here, and then 1 grunt. If you do it correctly, then like these ghosts shouldn't kill you. So now you have 2 rockets. Make sure that you do reload the rockets once you destroy whatever, like the floaty thingy there is. So you can do one of 2 things. You can either rocket the ghost or snipe the gunner, or snipe the grunts out of the ghost. Sniping the grunts out of the ghost is faster, but way more risky, and it requires you to have really good aim. If you rocket the ghost, it is like fine. It just means that you'll have to take out a Wraith by like a plasma grenade or something, or just melees. It just depends on what you're more comfortable with. So you can either try to snipe out the grunts and the ghosts, like that, and then just rocket the 2 Wraiths. A Wraith goes down in 2 rockets basically, and then just kill the last one. And that'll like finish up this section. Oh, I gotta check one. The other strat is to just rocket the ghosts and then just do the same like punches on the Wraiths. Then here you want to grab a ghost here. Or actually, 1 second. Here, before you grab the ghost, you want to grab the fuel rods from these rockets, like switch out the empty rockets for the fuel rods. And then you want to grab a ghost. And if you look at the sky, it'll cause the dawn to come in faster. So there's the dawn. And then you want to try to, like, not, like, everything will start flying away. You just want to make sure that you don't, like, flip all over the place in the ghost. And then you want to stay far back enough to hit the trigger, so you'll see it when the black bars appear, and then you can keep going. If you go too far away, then it won't have that thing show. So now here you just want to make your way back this direction, Just keep driving.
Chief, take one of the tanks. Lead the way.
I tend to drive towards these fusion coils because those ghosts can get in the way.
All armor,
And
form up
then
on the
here,
doorway.
you're going to go up here, and then you're going to want to kill this phantom. So you drive here, you shoot around this back wing here, or so it will blow up in 5 shots. If you miss it, you just have to shoot more. And then you kill those brutes. And then here I got bad RNG because I didn't get God Deload. So if you get God Deload, then these wraiths will not spawn in with like enemies inside it. So right now they have a brute and a like driver. So you're going to just have to snipe and kill the gunners of these brutes. And you're going to also want to kill whatever grunts are driving these ghosts. So sometimes there's 2 there, there's always 2 back here. And then, yeah, you just want to make sure you kill all that you can. So right now there's only 2 Wraith drivers alive. Unfortunately, that does mean that I have to, like, I'll be losing time because they're still there. And then you want to take a chopper and then wait for this door to open. So once this door opens, like the door will open once there's enough enemies that are dead, basically. So if you get God Deload, it opens faster. Just make sure you kill as, like, anything that's, like, you can, basically. So here, just wait for Spark to open this door. Then you're going to drive inside here. I like to drive slowly because, like, the vehicle is pretty scary to drive. You press this button, that'll activate the bridge. Then you're going to go through this door. So now here, this is an important section. So we're going to do a trick with Scarab Board, and it's pretty difficult on this level. You need to get pretty good driving in order to meet the timer. So that's an important part on this section, so make sure you can drive this vehicle comfortably. The other strat which you do is a fuel rod and nade jump. I am not going to go over that strat because it's not a strat that I do. It is done on legendary, not and it can be done on easy, but it is more risky if done on easy because, like, on easy the lift strat is pretty free because you won't die to phantom shooting at you and other stuff, but it doesn't require as good of driving. So if you're not comfortable with driving, I would recommend finding someone else's, like, tutorial or something on that fuel rod nade jump board. So here, this is going to be a drive. So you want to just make your way down as fast as possible. If you shoot your chopper while you're in the air, it helps level it out. And you just want to boost whenever possible. And you want to make your way to this, like, structure. And then here you want to slow down as you hit this ramp so that you don't go flying. And that'll get it so that you can get in the chopper faster and move faster. You look at where the scarab is so you make sure you have enough time. You deploy the, like, lift around where this shadow is, and then you look at this radar, and when you see the red dot pass over you, like a bit later after it passes over you, you would get onto the lift, and then you'll land right at the scarab. So I'll go over that again. So you want to get a good driving path where you don't like die. If you boost while falling, you'll die just like that. So be careful of how your boost pattern is. So
Heads up, Marines. You got trouble.
yeah, just keep driving.
Low armor, form up.
And try not to flip, basically. You want to slow down there so you don't like throw your chopper so far away. Place your grav lift on that shadow-like area there. Wait for the scarab to pass over you, and then you'll just board it just like that. So now here, once all 4 legs land, you can hear like the 4th leg land when you like land on it. That's when you can shoot and destroy this core. Jump out of the scarab, and you want to get back in the chopper. So now here you want to wait at this like corner here. Like you don't want to go close to where that ramp is. So once you hit loading done, then you start making your way over, and that'll cause it so that you save a minute of time to like the pelican like not flying at a bad spot, I believe. So by waiting for the loading done farther away. I get out early too to grab 2 spike grenades off the ground on those dead brutes as well. And then you're going to want to make your way up top here. So right here, we're going to want to kill this brute. Like, it'll drop fuel rods. You just want to make sure you have enough fuel rods for this end section. And we're going to make our way up top. So now here, we're waiting for this pelican, and we want to kill 1 marine here, the marine next to Arbiter. So we kill that guy so it skips some dialogue. And we're going to just wait here for this door to open.
Well done, Sparks.
So once the door opens, you just want to keep going through. You can do a slide jump there if you want. And we're just walking to wherever the button is, so you're just following this path. And then you just want to hit this button.
Chief, you got a whole mess of hostile air inbound. Get back inside while we take them out.
Follow the Oracle, Spark.
Here you just want to make your way
I will
to
help your sergeant clear the sky.
next room here. And skip past all of these enemies, and then there's going to be a set of enemies that we want to kill. So right here, there's a camo brute generally. I don't know why the camo brute decided to go this way, but you want to kill that 1 brute there. And then there's another brute right here you want to kill. And then there's normally 2 more, so you can kill 1 there, and there's 1 more that is hiding. There you are. So once those 4 brutes are dead, you want to kill these 2 jackals. Make your way down. And here you want to equip incendiary nades. You want to fire 2 or 2 fuel rod cannons, and then you want to kill all of these brutes with the rest of your grenades. So right here, 1, 2, 1, 2, grenade, 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 and grenade. And then this last brute, the chieftain, you want to try to backsmack him. He's currently invincible, so that's fine. Just have to wait until he does his lunge attack. And then there's 2 less jackals that come out here. You want to kill these last 2 jackals, and that'll cause the end of the level to happen. If you don't kill the camo brutes or the jackals in the other room, they will come out back here on this side. So if you miss any, just make sure you check on this area to kill them. And that's basically Arc. Oh yeah, because I turned off the natural checkpoints, it reverted. So I'll just go over it one more time. So 2 fuel rod shots, and then all your nades. Oh, I got backsmacked by the hammer brute. 1, 2, 1, 2. Grenade, 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 and grenade. And then we're going to want to kill this guy. It's being so weird. There we go. And then you can fuel rod and try to kill them like that. And that does, like, that's the fastest way, is to shoot like a fuel rod in there and try to snipe them before they spawn out. And yeah. And that'll end the level. Okay, so here's Covenant. It's also a pretty tricky level. Can be pretty tricky. So you want to kill 5 grunts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you want to melee and throw a grenade on that last brute. And then you want to start charging your laser. The reason why is because killing 6 enemies causes the next set of enemies to spawn here, where I'm pre-firing the laser to kill the field rod brute, along with a couple other enemies if possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just whatever you can. So 6 enemies are dead, and then you want to fire your laser to kill those guys. I missed my laser there because I failed my jump on the rock. But yeah, just like that, you can see how many you can kill with the metals. You want to throw 2 spike grenades to kill these 2 shade turrets, and then you want to laser to kill this last wraith there.
Alright, up the beach, take out that wraith!
So that's 5. Nade. Charge the laser. Kill the 2 shade turrets. And then laser this wraith. And you'll know you destroyed the wraith if you get a double kill. And then whatever enemies are left alive, you kill them with your BR. Unfortunately, I didn't kill this brute guy with the laser, but that's a whatever. So you want to grab the fuel rod, and you want to switch out your Spartan laser with another one here.
I will beat the prophet's shield like a drum. By the time the barrier falls, he will beg for mercy.
So now here you want to grab this warthog, And you're going to make your way driving this direction.
Earth, every being in the galaxy. Halo will kill them all. Get to the first tower. Shut it down.
Ma'am, we're on the ground. Third tower in sight.
Good. The Arbiter and the Elites have touched down in number
Here you're
2.
going to want to drive off this cliff. Try to stay like more to the right so you don't like hit the side of the mountain and flip. And then you want to wait here so these two vehicles pass by, and then you want to drive in and try to like park your hog. I mean, it's not super important to park the warthog there. So right here, there's two things you can do. So the fast way, which I would recommend, is jumping on this box and doing a fuel rod jump here to get to this platform to activate the elevator. It's just a simple fuel rod jump on the box. Just like that. The other way you can do it is if you jump onto these boxes to the left here, and you can jump onto this platform. And what you like to do is you like to fuel rod on top here. You don't need to do it, it's just some extra time save. And then right after loading done appears, like a bit later, you can do a grenade jump with a laser to kill those guys. And then you just want to kill whatever brutes are left alive with your fuel rod.
Find the tower controls and shut it down.
Then you want to grab the hammer. If there's a invincibility, you want to grab that as
Good
well.
work, Chief. That's 1. The Arbiter should be just about to... That's 2. It's all up to Johnson's team now. Get back outside, Chief. Wait for transport. Johnson, come in. Over.
We're reinforcements, man. We're pinned down.
I'm on my way.
Negative.
So now here, we're just going to make our way out of the tower.
Sergeant Major! Johnson, can you hear me? Chief, you need to link
Get
up with
into the
Cortana
hog.
and proceed directly to the third tower. Make your way back to
And
the
just
beach.
keep driving. And we're going to make our way back the way we came, so just follow this path. Try not to hit anything that'll slow you down. It's pretty standard. And then you want to get out of the hog, get into this hornet,
Get those pelicans safely to the third tower.
and then fly diagonally. Flying diagonally with the hornet is faster in this game. And we're going to make our way to the third tower.
Objective in sight, Commander. No sign of Johnson or his team.
So right here you want to exit.
Chief, clear an
I like
LZ
to charge
and
my
inside the
laser
tower.
to kill whatever brutes are in the way here. They'll help. And then here, there's two things you can do. First thing you can do is a grenade jump with a hammer swing to get on top here to hit this button. That's like the general strat. There's other strats you can do that are kind of tricky in my opinion. You can do a hammer jump here as well. If you like miss your nade jump or don't have the right nades. You can also do it with a plasma or spike grenade. And then you just want to, like, wait for this elevator to get up top. So now here you're going to want to start charging your laser again. Generally you want to kill the 2 camo brutes on the left. And if you don't, you just have to kill them, like, in whatever way possible. Basically, like, it's just clear the room as fast as you can.
Chief, and the barrier will fall.
Once all the brutes are dead, then you hit the button, make your way out. And there is a small hammer launch you can do here.
Significant damage. Weapon system disabled.
Move to a safe distance. Stay away from the flood.
Why would the parasite come here?
And sometimes, like, splatter here if you're not careful. But you just do it off that box, just like that.
First,
If you don't, then you can just walk forwards. Then here you can do like a hammer launch and have a lot of enemies nearby, so yeah. But generally you can get on top of this ledge here. Kind of messing up because of how these enemies are, like they're just everywhere. It's not like necessary. If you don't get it, you can always just go like that. And that's primarily for the small slide jump there.
Shipmaster's carrier is out of commission, Chief.
And you get into the Warthog, you want to just have good driving at this section.
Pressure on him, accelerate his plans. Punch through the cliffs. Get inside that citadel.
You want to take this left path here, so you can drive off this cliff at the right angle here. Got shot so I flipped, but that's fine. And then you're going to want to get out of the hog here, once you hit around this rock area. And you're going to do the scarab fight. So there's 2 ways to do this scarab fight. So the first way that I do is to kill this one leg of the scarab with 2 rockets and a bunch of shots. Then I round around back here and destroy these cores like this. So that's 1. Then I fly to the back of this one and then shoot it as well. The other way you can do it is to fly straight to this scarab on the left.
I count 2 scarab. Repeat, 2 scarab.
And destroy the core. And then fly to the scarab on the right. And then board it, and then just destroy it with a hammer swing. Either way works, like, they're basically the same, I think. And then you want to try to get into this hog, kind of inside of it, but that's fine. But once you get into the hog, then you just want to drive up top here. There is technically a DC clip that you can do that gets inside the building. I don't think there's one that has been done on PC for keyboard mouse yet, so that's why we don't do it. It saves like 30-40 seconds, but it's really difficult, not really recommended for a new runner. So we do this alternative strat again. And if you want to do the DC clip strat, you're going to want to have the Hornet with you. So you want to make sure you drive your Warthog here, And then you want to kill Arby. If he's running like this, like you just light him on fire.
Come to me.
So once he dies, it skips like his line of dialogue. So this bridge spawns earlier. Then you want to get out of the hog like right before this line here, so like it makes it through. And then you want to get inside the hog to drive it onwards a bit. And that'll make it all the way through.
It has.
And then here, this is the Citadel launch. So, a Citadel launch is pretty difficult. You're going to want to practice this quite a lot, in my opinion. So here you want to hit this box around here. Okay. So you hit the left side of the box at rear, like right around there. Arby's like kind of in the way. Excuse me, Arby. Why are you like in the spot that I'm trying to do this in?
Be careful.
And just trying to move him. Like he shouldn't be there. Okay.
We're allies.
And then you want to do a melee on top of the box here. And one of two things can happen. If you don't melee high enough, or if you melee too high for the first melee, you'll get this sliding box. There's a sliding box setup and a not sliding box setup. It just depends on what you want to have happen. So just 2 melees. Get onto the box, and then you can do a hammer swing. Arbiter's actually getting so much in the way right now. So I'm going to save this checkpoint here. But yeah, it's 1 melee, 2nd melee, pretty high. If you get the sliding one, you want to kind of do that. It's really tough if you get the sliding one, in my opinion. I don't have a good sliding box setup. But if you can stand on it, you can use like this visual cue right here. I don't have the best setup because I'm not super comfortable with this trick. But I like to have my top of the box around that line level. And then I want to aim my hammer swing around here while crouching. And then I would swing. And that should hit this building. And if you hit that building, so the jetpack brute spawn, that means you got a good launch. So once again, it's like 1 melee, 2nd melee on top of the box. Stand crouched at the right spot. And then get the launch. If you go too high or too far too fast, you'll kind of get a bad launch. Sometimes you can get a super good one, but it'll miss the trigger. So you have to be careful with how this is done. There are people with better setups, like experiment around with this, find whatever works for you. And yeah, just do what you can with it. So it's just 1 melee, 2nd melee. Find a lineup that you like, and then swing. And if you do it correctly, you should be able to launch very far. You want to kill this hammer brute. If he has an invincibility, I would recommend grabbing it. Take the new hammer, and you want to just make your way through. If you can as well, make sure to drop your laser so you can transfer your hammer to the next level as well. And hit this bridge trigger. Because I turned off natural checkpoints that didn't trigger. So we're going to do this again. 1, 2, stand here somewhere, which works. Hit the launch. That was a terrible launch. But yeah, just experiment around. You'll find something that works for you. Like I like my lineup like that. If he doesn't give an invincibility, then that's whatever. If you can, like if you have a lot of hammer ammo for instance, you can use the hammer for like some bonus swings by like turning around, swinging the hammer and looking back forwards. Here you're going to do a boost with a plasma grenade here with a slide jump and a hammer swing, and that'll help like more speed. You want at least like 20 hammer ammo going into the next level, so make sure you have that into account. So here, if you have invincibility, I would recommend using it at this point. And you're going to want to hit the box at the top here, and right when it hits its third swing back at you, like right here, that's when you want to jump and do the hammer swing. It is kind of scary if there's like, if you do it that way. You can also do it just flat on like that if you want. This DC is like really weird. I don't know why it's there. But whatever you want. If you hit the box with the melee, it gives you a stronger launch. It's just way more scary if you do it without an invincibility, because you can splatter yourself very easily just like that. So if you don't have an invincibility, I would just do the standard one like that instead. There is a trigger on the bridge as well, so you have to make sure you hit the bridge trigger right there. And then here you can either go over this door or under this door. It's like whatever. And then here, there's generally a third launch here, because this box is placed like fine. If it's in a good spot, you melee it once so that it like goes to the left, like that, and then you can do a launch to the other side. That wasn't angled left enough, so I'm going to try to do it again. It might be a bit too far left. Doesn't help that that flood's kind of in the way. But if you have this at a good angle, it can send you basically to the end room there. It just can be kind of weird. It's just a small launch, but can be useful. And here, just a small boost, and just keep going forwards. Just make sure you don't have your laser onto this level, or the next level. So this is Cortana. This level has some Cortana and Grave Mine moment skips. So you want to try to combine the moments to skip them. So the first one here, you want to have your hammer out, and if you can, throw a nade onto there and jump and start doing hammer swings. And you want to get into the hole right there, which I just landed in. And if you get that, it'll combine the two moments. So right here, I'm going to throw a nade, hammer swing, hammer swing. If you don't have a lot of hammer swings, you can do it with 2 nades, and you just want to land in the hole before the grave mine moment ends. And that'll combine the 2 moments and basically have it only take the time with the first one. And here you want to just jump up top here, grab the DC, because there's a small DC launch you can do. Jump here. And now here you can get a grave mine moment skip here. You do a slide jump here, you want to look down, crouch, and do a DC launch. It can be really difficult to get that, but if you do it correctly, it can combine the 2 grave mine moments. I got a very weird DC launch, did I? The heck? What the heck was that? I like went super far backwards. Don't worry, we'll just do it again and have it actually work. Like, it's not super important to do this. In fact, I recommend not doing it if you're not comfortable with it. But yeah, you just kind of want to hold forwards during it. And if you get it, you can skip basically 1 grave mine moment. But yeah, as you can see, it is really tough. But that DC launch can send you pretty far. And that'll send you like all the way to like the end around here.
That's all I am.
And it'll skip this grave mine moment coming up right here. It's just tough. Don't worry too much if you don't get it though. Because that one is very difficult. And here you want to switch out your weapons for the sword and the new hammer. And then here you're going to want to do a hammer launch off this crate. Just like that. I picked up the camo. It's fine. Kill this guy with the sword. Just keep walking through. You don't need the camo, I just happened to come across it. You want to grab that DC, and you want to grab this brute shot in exchange for the sword. And you want to kill these flood that are coming out here. Whatever you can. And here at this grave mine moment, you can kind of boost yourself by jumping at the ceiling and like shooting yourself with brute shots. It's kind of tough, but yeah. Then here there's 2 things you can do. The fast strat is to jump here, jump back and throw a spike grenade on the ground and do a brute shot jump up top. It can be kind of difficult, and you can die to the spike grenade, and that'll get you all the way up top there. Another alternative strat you can do is to just do a walking brute shot jump onto this and jumping across here. If you don't have spike grenades or just want to play it a bit safer, spike grenades can kill you, so just have to be careful. And then you get this Cortana moment / grave mine moment. You just want to turn around backwards and start swinging your hammer, so it makes yourself go through the hallway, and then make it through to this tunnel. And then there's a couple alternative strats here to cross this chasm all the way to that door. The fastest one is to throw a plasma nade while jumping, and then holding forwards while swinging the hammer, and that'll launch you pretty far. if you get it right. I fall timered there because it was really weird. And if you have a DC, which is why it's kind of important, you can save yourself from falling. So a DC below you can really help save certain moments. Another alternative strat is to get onto the box and then throw a plasma and do that. It's way easier in my opinion and way more consistent. Right there I could have used a DC to save me as well. Yeah, I'm surprised I splattered there. Just like this. It was kind of weird. Can be a tricky trick. But yeah, generally what happens is you land somewhere on the wall and then you just slide down and walk through the door. The last strat is to punch this box once so it gets aligned here, and then do a launch like that with a DC. You can kind of make it. You can get an even stronger one too if you are good at lining this up as well. Just like that. Yeah. And then here you want to boost your way through this Cortana moment to like get a moment skip as well. So what I like to do is I throw a nade and then you want to kind of jump and crouch while making your way through this tunnel. And like around the apex of your jump, you would swing your hammer. And if you get it correctly, you'll skip that moment just like that. Just have to time your hammer swings properly and like crouch at the right time, and it'll work almost every time, just like that. And here, just melee this ball of light thing 3 times. Oh yeah, I need to turn on natural checkpoints, so we'll just do it one more time.
There will be no more sadness, no more anger, no more envy.
Will show me what she hides, or I shall feast upon your bones.
I didn't get it there.
This is UNSC
But yeah, if you don't get it, then that's just time loss. You can see how much time you lose if you don't combine the moments. But yeah, there's multiple ways to do it, just do whatever's most comfortable for you.
There's 2 of us in here now, remember?
Now, at last I see her secret is
Here you're just
revealed.
wanting to walk forwards. And you want to do a DC jump with brute shot. So brute shot jump and then deploy your DC and land on the bridge.
Start a chain reaction.
You want to
Destroy
press
high
this
charity.
thing and then wait for the things to deploy. Once they fully open up, that's when you can shoot them and they'll explode. You just want to make sure you shot all 3 and then make your way to this door. And then you want to make sure to grab this DC, deployable cover, yeah. And then once this door opens, you're going to want to make your way through.
You need to get to Halo. Destroy the flood once and for all.
can do some slide jumps and stuff here, but you just want to kind of make your way through this tunnel section. And then here, you're going to want to jump with a brute shot jump and a DC to skip a section here. So kill whatever enemies are in the way. And then here, there's like 2 spots on the ground, which you can use to line yourself up with. Generally, it's like this blob and the thing to the right here. Just line up with whatever you're comfortable with. And then you want to make yourself up this hole. So you'll do a brute shot jump and then DC and just mash jump to get on top here. So one more time. At full speed, it should look more like this. And then you want to use your brute shot for a jump on top here. And then you want to just keep making your way to the end of the level here. For the rest of this level, it's just walking to the end trigger. And you want to make sure that you empty your brute shot. So if your brute shot has no more ammo, then it'll make it so that you'll have rockets for the next one, which is really important. So make sure you have an empty brute shot when you play this. Also be careful of sword flood because they can one-shot kill you. And that's really scary. I don't know what's with that guy, but yeah. Just be careful with sword flood. And be careful with Arbiter there, he can kill you really easily with the flamethrower as well. So now this is Halo, this is the last level. So you're going to want to make yourself go this way. Head on over to like these rocks and stuff. It's just following a certain path. I like to do a slide jump here by first jumping onto this spot here and then doing a crouch jump here. And then here you want to grab this hammer by ARing that guy down, and then start just swinging your hammer backwards like that for hammer boost. It's not necessary. And then you can do a grenade jump with a hammer swing to get on top here. So I'll show that again. Grab this hammer. You just make your way over, grenade, and a hammer swing when you jump. If you're not comfortable with the timing of that swing, you can just kind of keep walking this way. If you don't like this grenade jump, another backup way you can do it is standing here and doing a grenade jump with a hammer swing like that. It's just important that you make it onto this thing. Then you can turn backwards and just mash your hammer swings. And you want to make sure you get on top here. You want to rocket down there where the Arbiter is. Potentially killing him, I think. I'm not sure why you kill Arbiter in that section, but people do it. And then here you want to aim at the cliff around where the bottom of that dark spot is so that your rocket will hit Johnson and hopefully Johnson falls off the cliff. If Johnson falls off the cliff, then the one of the doors will open early. And the
I hear
spot that you aim at is like a dark spot here. You just want to
Was that the
aim
monitor? You didn't
at
tell me he was
like
here.
around here. And
Well, we are
basically
finally doing what he wanted.
when Johnson says spark, that's your cue to shoot. Then here you want to move this hammer all the way here, so it'll be next to the door. Grab this auto turret, and then place it right there. Make sure the hammer next to the auto turret, or the other auto turret, you want to make sure it's there so you can do a trick later. So here you just want to kill all the flood you can. Generally you go to this left side here and just kill all the flood that keep dropping down. And then you want to focus on these spider guys. And then once Gravemind says that line of dialogue which was playing right there, that's when you go to this side and start killing enemies. Just like kill whatever you can. And then at a certain point when the spiders start like dropping, that's your cue to kill the spiders. And yeah, just kill everything that you can. Once everything's dead, then this door will open.
I'm tracking additional dispersal pods. They'll be hitting any minute.
Then you just want to make your way down the hallway. If Johnson dropped off the edge, there's a potential that he'll open this door early. He didn't open it early this time. And then you want to hammer swing backwards during this Cortana moment. And you want to make sure you have at least 2 swings left in the hammer. So at least 6 hammer ammo left in your hammer. Then here you want to walk to hit this door trigger. And then there's this trick right here that we're going to do with an auto turret jump. So you can play this level casually by just waiting for the spark fight and getting the laser. It only loses a couple seconds. It's not too bad. If you want the absolute fastest way, which is pretty easy, just line yourself up around the edge here. It's not super precise and look like somewhat like forwards. And this jump is different than the other kind of equipment jumps you can do in the game. You have to deploy your auto turret really early while you're jumping it, like on it. So you want to do it very quickly afterwards. I missed it there because you need to make sure that it's during your jump time and you're not falling when you deploy it. And you want to time it so it like you do the jump while Spark is saying its dialogue. And then you want to do a hammer swing backwards so that it so that you land onto this invisible edge of the platform. Make sure you don't go too far to the right here as well because there's an invisible wall. So you want to make sure you're rounding the wall here. Just like that. And then you're going to want to grab this laser and make sure Johnson has the hammer. And if Johnson has the hammer, then it'll refill in ammo. So here, this is a lineup for early spark kill. So let me explain it here, right after I do this again.
I take no pleasure in doing what must be done. You do not deserve this ring.
So what I do is I grab this laser I stand at the corner here, and then once Johnson says kick his ass, like you start charging the laser on the first word of kick and aim right at this corner. And if you do that correctly, you'll always hit Spark with the first shot, and then it's just 2 more shots. And now this part is the important part. So make sure you're swapping weapons so the hammer ends up lying on the door, just like that. You want it to be lying on the door so it's not like falling and not on the ground. You want the hammer, like the top of the hammer, to be leaning against the door. So that way, when the cutscene's over and you lose your weapons, you can pick up the hammer on the other side of the door by walking up to it.
I am sorry, Smart.
And it'll get refilled in ammo because Johnson was holding it. So now here you just want to continue making your way forwards. And if you have an invincibility right here, it can be useful at the carrier hallway. The reason why I got the invincibility was because I switched it out for the auto turret. So here, this is a tricky slide jump you can do that's very scary off the very edge there. And if you combine that with a hammer swing, you can get a very big boost. But you just want to make your way to this platform here, through this door. And if you can, grab plasma rifles. They are better than the assault rifle for killing these carriers. And you want to shoot these carriers so you can pass by quickly with hammer swings. If you have an invincibility, you could just use it right there instead. And you just want to keep using your hammer ammo all the way until the end.
Johnson's Warthog.
So you have no more, and then it's just the driving section left.
Come on, Spartan, go, go, go!
So right here, this is the driving section. And it's pretty standard. You just want to drive smoothly, try not to flip. And there's some small skips you can do. Here's the first one. If you drive here and release your W input, like stop holding forwards, you can get a smooth jump off there. So right here, you can get a smooth jump. Then just drive around this part. And here, you want to make sure you follow this path properly. So make sure you take the middle section here. And then you want to take this ramp off to the right. So you land here, and then go to the middle. And then to the left. So that's what you want to do for that section. If you go other routes, you'll get like some very big, like a lot of height, and it's very slow. You want to make sure to be wary of carriers and root shot flood, because if you hit any, you'll most likely flip, so just be careful of that. Also be careful of sentinels at this section. So I like to drive to the left here so I won't get the sentinels to shoot at me. Because if the sentinels shoot at you, they can really easily flip your Warthog. But yeah, once again, any ramps you see, try not to take them, because they will most definitely lose you time. And then here, there's two things you can do. The first thing is a standard third roundabout skip. You just drive very fast in one direction. Try to aim like around this line here. And if you just hold forwards, you'll almost definitely make it like every time. Just like this. The alternative route, which is Sleepless Third, is very risky. It's driving off this edge here and trying to land at the very edge there. It saves 3 seconds, but it's very, very difficult. I would highly not recommend. Because you need a lot of speed for it, and you need to drive off at the perfect angle to not lose it, and land so that your hog lands perfectly. So once again, don't recommend this strat unless you're actually doing ILs at the level. Very, very difficult. But yeah, I want to get it once to show. I'm like getting really close to it each time. But yeah, something like that, except your hog doesn't flip. But either way, I would just recommend doing this one. Just drive straight forwards. I wasn't going fast enough because I wasn't holding W during the checkpoint load. But yeah, you need to make sure you have enough speed for that. If you don't get it, then you just have to drive around the other way, which is very slow and there's a lot of enemies that spawn. Then here in this section you want to follow this path, which is left, and then middle, and then right, and then before this ramp you want to go middle again. Then here there's this ramp here. You want to take this part right off to the edge here. That is a bit faster than just driving straight forwards, because driving straight forwards gives you a lot of height, even though this is very safe. So this path is slightly riskier, but it saves like a second or two. You can flip doing this, so it's kind of scary, but yeah. Then here, it's just clean driving. Just try not to flip, try not to get too much height, and try to be wary of sentinels and other debris on the ground, and just flying around in general. Take a corner. A lot of this driving path comes from experience, so knowing where and which panels blow up. It's also important to note that the panels are different on different difficulties. I believe on easy and legendary, they're very different. Here you just want to keep driving this way, and reach the end of the level by just driving straight forwards here and just hitting this ramp at the end. And once you hit it, that's when the level ends, and that's when your timer stops. And that is basically Halo 3. So if there's any questions on the run or anything, I would highly recommend checking out the Halo 3 Discord section of Halo runs. Lots of people are there willing to help, and especially a lot of them are way better than me at explaining and doing the tricks. This was primarily just
Their
made
decision
to
required
explain
courage beyond measure,
the basics of the route and
sacrifice,
everything.
and unshakable
So,
conviction
yeah.
that their fight, our fight,